All right, so full transparency. This video was recorded on two separate days, actually probably like 2 or 3 days apart, right? But it's Memorial Day weekend. Actually, right now while I'm doing this part is actually Saturday. I'm on the grill, cooking some stuff up. You know, it's hot, but it's a beautiful day. Monday's off. And the video you're about to go into is a video where I talk about, men actually learning something from women in the sense that when women are single, they still continue to live life and enjoy life. Whereas with a lot of men, we tend to retreat from life when our relationships aren't going right? So we don't hang out. A lot of us, like a lot of guys, especially like on online spaces, you're not hanging out with a group of male friends. You're not experiencing new things. You're not trying new things. You're not doing new things. And listen, fellas, what you have to understand is whether you have a woman or not, whether women respect you or not, whether they want to be married or not, you still have your life to live, and you could and should enjoy your life because you only get one. You only get one life. When this is over, it's over. And a lot of you are going to look up one day and realize that it's almost over and you wasted your prime years worrying about women. I understand in your prime years you want a woman. I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if you're in your prime years and things with women are not going the way you want it to go, don't put a pause on life and marinate and stew on that. You are still in your prime years. You're still in your prime money-making years. You're still in your prime health years. You're still in your prime physical abilities and all of that kind of stuff. You are still in your prime years where you have energy and metabolism and health. And man, listen, live your life. You deserve and you should live life to the fullest, regardless of what women are doing or what they thinking or how they feel about you. Do your thing, bruh. Now to get into the video. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And today I want to talk to you about something that I find slightly interesting. Well, very interesting. And actually something that I think that a lot of brothers or men in general can learn from women. But before I get into it, let me clear something up. Let me make it clear. I'm not talking about the bachelors. I'm not talking about the guys who are single by choice. I'm not talking about guys who they don't have any problems getting with women or dealing with women or the kind of women that they want. They just aren't in the situation right now. That's not what I'm talking about. In this particular example, I'm talking about the guys who have, serious or not so serious problems or issues with women. I'm talking about if you identify as an incel or MGTOW or a passport bro who actually isn't going overseas like that, but you just, take it on a name. Or, the guys that get into the Pookie and Ray Ray versus Educated Lame conversations. Or the guys that say, hey, if you're not a thug or this or that, black women ain't checking for you. The guys who talk about Western women and they don't want to be married and you got to have 666, six-pack, six figures and all that. I'm talking about those guys that believe in the 80-20 rule and friend zones and stuff. That's what I'm talking about, just to be clear. I'm not talking about all brothers. I'm talking about guys who, in their own hearts and minds, they believe that black women have a disdain for black men. I'm talking about the guys who they believe that black women don't want to submit to a black man. Black women don't respect them. Black women are disrespectful. They'd rather have your baby than to submit to you and be your wife. I'm talking about guys who believe that kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about, all right? Now that we got that clear, what I find interesting is the women who are on the flip side of that, meaning the women who want to be married, they want to be loved, they want to be in a relationship, they want to get married, they want to start a family, they want, to be a wife and all these other kind of things. I'm talking about the ones who genuinely want that, right? But for whatever reason, they can't secure it. Maybe, all these years of being single, they're too masculine, or maybe not that attractive, or maybe she's, out of shape at the moment, or maybe she kind of went a little too wild in her past, and so she kind of has a reputation and guys aren't taking her seriously. Or maybe she's just very, very successful and she prioritized that over, finding somebody. So now she has all this success and she's looking for a man that has just as much, if not more, and she's struggling to do that. Whatever her situation may be. Women in those situations, once again, women who actually want and desire to be with a man, to be married, to start a family, to submit to a man. The women who actually desire that, but for whatever reason cannot secure that. One thing that I learned about them, and one thing that I've noticed about a lot of them, is they keep living life. Yes, she may be lonely. Yes, she may be single. Yes, she's the clock is ticking and she's about to run out of time to have a kid. And she's getting older and the likelihood of her getting married is going further and further down. All those things are going to be true. But one thing I noticed about a lot of those women, not all, but the majority, especially the black ones, is they keep on living. Just because she's lonely, just because she don't have a man, just because she can't find the right situation, she don't stop living. What do I mean by that? What I mean is a lot of the women in this position, they still travel. They just travel with other women. I see it all the time. Every time I get, because and this is why the class thing matters. Because when you're in different classes, in different environments, you see certain things that people in other situations might not see. Right? And so that's one of the main reasons why there's so much disagreement between me and a lot of guys in terms of what's going on with the women and the quality of the women, because I've been in different environments. Like I keep telling you, I grew up in a majority black suburb. Now, since me, graduating high school and going off to college, that black suburb has been ran into the ground. But at the time, it was a majority black suburb. So I saw the whole full spectrum of black women, from the ghetto, ratchet, ain't got nothing going on, super tattooed. By the time she's 24, she got 3 kids and 3 baby daddies. I saw that all the way up to the beautiful, low body count, hard to get, smart, going to college, got her own this, got her own. I seen the whole spectrum. Then I went to college and I went to an HBCU in Maryland, Bowie State University. And once again, I was surrounded by tons of black women from all walks of life. From the South, from the East Coast, from the West Coast, from middle class, upper middle class, first generation, second, third, fourth generation, Christian, Muslim, American, Caribbean, African. Like I've seen it all. I have seen it all. That's why my perspective on what women are is a lot different, because I know everything that's out there. I've seen everything that's out there. And that's all I've been trying to tell guys. Depending on where you go, it's different stuff. I'm going to have to clip this part, because this is an important message for guys. Like a lot of you guys, what you think is going on with the women is just from, your experiences. But the more you accomplish, the more you see, the more you do, the more places you go, you will recognize that there's a wide range of black women in this country right now. Like, that's why I can't never get on the board with the whole, most of the women are, no. Because I know a lot of you ain't came across most of the women. Not in real life. Because you got to think about it. It's a lot of colleges in the DMV, not just black colleges, but colleges overall. So obviously I go to Bowie. It's HBCU. So obviously we are going up to Morgan, and we know a lot of people from Morgan, which is another HBCU. Obviously we up at Howard, another HBCU, right? Virginia State, Virginia Union, obviously. But on top of that, we was all over the place. I'd have been on the campus of George Washington, George Mason, Georgetown, American University, Towson, UMBC, University of Maryland. I should have credits at University of Maryland as much time as I spent up there doing undergrad, right? But the reason I bring this up is because you have to understand, going to all these different campuses have different makeups and different student bodies. I've seen all kinds of black women. And so, once again, skin tone, 2 black parents, mixed race, poor, middle class, rich, Muslim, Christian, atheist. Like, you pick it. I've seen it. That's all I can tell you. Like, it's not like a lot of you, just your viewpoint is not, you haven't experienced nearly enough. That's why you just don't know. And all I'm trying to tell you is get out there so you can see, because I promise you it's not what you think it is. Anyway, what I've noticed, and the reason I bring that up is because of my experiences, I know a lot of black women. And I follow a lot of them, and we follow each other on social media. And so every time I get on there, I see women that I know from various backgrounds, educations, colleges, incomes, all of that, right? And a lot of the ones who are perpetually single, been single for a long time for whatever reason, every time I get on there, they're doing something. Just because they're lonely, they don't have the relationship they want, they don't stop living. Every time I look up, once they traveling somewhere, they going somewhere, they meeting up with because one thing about women, single women, they compensate for not having a man by having a strong friend group. Whereas with men is single, a lot of times he by himself, he a loner. Especially now with the internet, because guys can hang out and have pseudo friendships online. So a lot of guys, especially like when it comes to these manosphere, red pill spaces, they don't actually hang out with other men in real life. Like most of these guys, all of their friends are online. Whereas with women, they're single, they're going to solidify a strong friend group in real life. Every time I look up, somebody going to brunch, somebody going to a sip and paint, somebody going and having an event, all girls this, a girls date night, they taking a trip over here, they going over there, they got it on their passport, they going on a cruise together, they going all across the world. That's one thing a lot of guys got to learn from women. Just because you're single, because what happens with a lot of guys is, because your relationship prospects aren't working out for whatever reason, you tend to retreat. So once again, you don't really hang out with friends in real life. Most of your friends are on the internet. You don't really have a social life. You're not really going out. You're not meeting people. You're not really doing too much. You working your job. And nowadays you can work remote from home. So you're working remote from home, and your friends are online. So you meet up with your friends at home, and you're not really going out. You're not really experiencing nothing. You're not like, that's the thing. It's like, for whatever reason nowadays with men, if they're relationship prospects with women get low, they just kind of like start going through the motions and kind of retreat from life overall. They just kind of just like almost check out. Whereas a woman, she may be lonely, she may want a man, but you know what she gonna do? She probably get her a rose or whatever, And she gonna keep pushing. She gonna stack accomplishment after accomplishment, experience on top of experience. I can't tell you how many women I know who they've been perpetually single, but every time I look up, she getting another degree. She back in school again. Right? Or I look up and next thing you know, she ain't got no man, but she just bought a house. So you know what she gonna do? Her and her house and her dog, they gonna go get a PhD. And then after that, her and her single homegirls, they gonna book some tickets and they gonna take a trip together. They traveling all over the world with each other, buying houses next to each other and pets, and making money and doing like that. That's all I'm saying, fellas. It's like just because your relationship prospects are not going the way you wanted to go, that don't mean you just retreat. That don't mean you just no, man. You still got a whole lot of life to live. And guess what? As you get out here and live, you might meet somebody along the way. But you can't meet nobody if you're working remote, you're working in your car, you're not hanging out with nobody, all your friends are online. Wait, how you gonna meet a woman? The kind of woman that you're looking for. Because I've been there before, right? When you're not really going out, when you kind of retreated, you don't take care of yourself how you're supposed to. Your wardrobe don't look right. Your grooming ain't right. You don't go to your barber regularly. You don't got your cologne game not on point. You're not lifting weights. You don't got no definition in your biceps and triceps. You don't dress well. Your shoes turned over. Like, come on, man. You don't have no, like, a lot of you, this is all I want you to think about. What are your hangout spots? What's your favorite restaurant? What's your favorite bar? What's your favorite activity to do? Like, do you hike? Do you play basketball? Do you lift weights? Do you like to go out and hear live music? Do you play, what's that new game? Pickleball? Like, what? And that's another thing. that just popped in my head. That's another thing I'm seeing a lot of single women doing now. Oh, it's a new activity, something fun to do. Oh yeah, I'm seeing a whole bunch of single women. They playing pickleball. They riding the city bikes downtown. They going to all the new restaurants, posting about the new meals. They Here's another thing that they do. Since they're single, they got a whole lot of free time. They involve themselves within the community and within different organizations. They have huge networks. Whether it's their sorority or whether it's their association at work or whether it's some black girl or black women's group or single black moms group, or they plug themselves into something. They don't just, retreat from life. They keep moving and keep pushing. And if they never get a man, well, they lived a full life outside of that. And that's all I'm saying to y'all, man. Live life. Like something like you might want to, start reevaluating things. If every Friday night and Saturday night you are online, like every weekend, if the most exciting thing that happens to you is when you making videos and having a large panel about something that a celebrity got going on, like, come on, like, let's go. Like, if I ask you, what's your favorite restaurant, and you can't tell me what's your favorite spot, and you don't have a favorite spot, like, what's your barber's name, and you don't have a barber, it's like, hold on now, what's going on? It's like, don't stop living. Like, what are you doing? That's all I'm saying, brothers. If a chick is masculine, or she got too many kids and she not with the father, so ain't nobody trying to date her because she got a couple of kids, or she big and she not really losing the weight like that, or whatever she got going on, and so she can't find a man, guess what she gonna do? She gonna get her education up. She gonna get her money up. She gonna get her networks up. She gonna get her girl group up. She gonna buy herself a house and put a dog in there, and she gonna keep going on about her business. Then she gonna book a trip. She gonna keep on living. That's all. All I'm saying is you got to do the same.
Today's lesson is how to decenter men and stop craving male validation. You need to find hobbies that don't have to do with men. If you don't have any hobbies, then the only real thing going on for you that's outside of the normal is your relationship. Next is make a to-do list every single day that doesn't have to do with men. Wake up, you get on a dating app, you text men, swiping on a dating app to texting these men, and then you call them and you're on FaceTime with them all day. You're always with them. Anytime they want you to pull up, you're pulling up. Texting them all day will not be a fucking option because you're gonna cut that out by only doing things that you have to do on your to-do list. Obviously, keep yourself so busy that you don't have time to think about them. This one works wonders. You don't have to act like, oh, I'm gonna ignore his text for 3 hours, because girl, you're already not gonna respond for those 3 hours because you're gonna be doing things to level up yourself. And then slowly but surely, you'll start to get used to their presence not being there all the time. It'll become a normal thing for you not to call them and not to text them. You'll realize how much happier you are to not constantly being like, how can I cater to the male gaze? How can I make him think that I'm this amazing person? Because you'll just be living your life. You won't be asking yourself, why hasn't he called me back yet? You'll be so busy to the point where you won't even notice that he hasn't texted you. And that is how you start to decenter them from your life, by just doing you. Delete the dating apps. I'm not playing with you. Delete the dating apps, girl. Having dating apps just proves that these random men that you don't even know still have access to you. You need to make it clear to yourself, you're not accessible without commitment. And dating apps, girl, there's no commitment coming out of dating apps, especially Tinder. Go ahead and stop checking your social media, DMs, messages, notifications. These are men that you've never met, you don't see them, and yet you're wondering who's liking your stuff. You're wondering who's in your DMs. If you're checking your DMs specifically to text men, ooh, this next one, girl. Do not Snapchat a man. Do not Snapchat a man. Do not Snapchat a... Absolutely no exceptions. If I didn't care about a man, then I would choose to snap him. Just think about that. Like, as a man, why would he choose to snap you over just texting you regularly? When a man asks me for my Snapchat, I immediately am like, get far away from me. Last one is you do not have to hate men in order to prioritize yourself in your life before theirs. Just keep your distance. I'm not saying act like men don't exist and stop dating and stop. No, like absolutely not. I'm just saying you need to always put yourself first. The moment that you put a man before you is the moment that you make men the center of your life. Not to know